Long ago, in the ancient kingdom of Kapilavastu, a prince was born who would one day change the world's way of thinking. His name was Siddhartha Gautama, later known as Gautam Buddha, the Enlightened One. From the very beginning, Siddhartha was not like other children. He was calm, thoughtful, and often asked deep questions about life. His father, King Suddhodana, wanted him to become a great ruler, so he protected the young prince from all kinds of sorrow. The king built high walls around the palace, filled it with music, dance, and joy, so Siddhartha would never see pain or suffering. For years, Siddhartha lived a life of luxury. He had everything: wealth, love, and comfort. But deep inside, he felt that something was missing. He often wondered, is this all there is to life? Why do people suffer? One day at the age of 29, Siddhartha left the palace in his royal chariot to see the world outside. That single journey changed his life forever. As he rode through the city, he saw four sights that opened his eyes to reality. First, he saw an old man, bent and weak, walking with difficulty. Siddhartha had never seen old age before. He asked his charioteer, "What has happened to that man?" The charioteer replied, "My prince, he is old. Everyone must grow old one day." The second sight was even more shocking: a sick man lying on the ground, trembling in pain. Siddhartha asked, "Why is he suffering like this?" The charioteer said softly, "Illness can strike anyone, my lord. No one can escape it." The third sight was the most painful: a dead body being carried to the cremation ground. Siddhartha stood still, unable to speak. He whispered, "Will this happen to everyone?" The charioteer nodded. "Yes, my prince. Death is the final truth for all." Finally, Siddhartha saw a monk, calm, peaceful, and without fear. The monk's face was full of serenity, as if he had found something beyond the world's pain. This image stayed in Siddhartha's heart. That night he could not sleep. The laughter and luxury of the palace felt meaningless. He realized that no amount of wealth or pleasure could protect anyone from old age, sickness, or death. So one silent night, Siddhartha made the hardest decision of his life. He kissed his wife and newborn son goodbye and left the palace in search of truth. This moment was called the Great Renunciation. He walked barefoot into the forest, wearing simple clothes, carrying nothing but determination. He met many wise teachers and practiced extreme meditation and fasting. For 6 long years, he tortured his body, eating almost nothing, hoping to find enlightenment. But even then, the truth escaped him. One day, exhausted and weak, he realized that starving himself was not the way to wisdom. He accepted food from a kind village girl named Sujata, regaining his strength. Then he sat beneath a Bodhi tree Bodh Gaya, vowing, "I will not rise until I find the truth." Days turned into nights, and nights into days. He meditated deeply, fighting inner demons of doubt, fear, and desire. But his mind remained still, like a calm lake. Finally, as the morning star rose, a great light filled his heart. He understood the cause of all human suffering. It was desire and attachment. And he realized the path to end that suffering was through wisdom, morality, and mindfulness. At that moment, Siddhartha became the Buddha, the awakened one. Buddha then shared his wisdom with the world. He taught the Four Noble Truths. 1. Life is full of suffering. 2. The cause of suffering is desire. 3. The end of suffering comes when desire ends. 4. The way to end desire is by following the Eightfold path: right view, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. He did not ask anyone to blindly believe in him. Instead, he said, "Greater than do not believe something just because I say it. Test it in your own life. If it brings peace, it is true." His words inspired kings, peasants, and even criminals to change their lives. One day, a murderer named Angulimala, who had killed hundreds, came to kill Buddha. But when he saw Buddha's calm face and fearless eyes, something inside him changed. He dropped his weapon, fell to his knees, and became one of Buddha's most devoted followers. Buddha's compassion was limitless. He saw no difference between rich and poor, man or woman, high or low. To him, all beings deserved love and peace. Once, when his disciple was washing a monk's wounds, Buddha said, "Greater than he who tends to the sick tends to me." His teaching spread across Asia, touching millions of hearts. He showed that enlightenment is not found in temples or scriptures, but within one's own heart. At the age of 80, Buddha lay down peacefully under the sal trees of Kushinagar. His disciples wept, but he smiled gently and said, "Greater than everything that arises will one day pass away. Work hard for your own salvation." Those were his final words. Even today, thousands of years later, his message remains powerful and relevant. In a world full of chaos and greed, Buddha reminds us to live with peace, kindness, and awareness. He taught us that true happiness doesn't come from possessions or power, but from understanding ourselves and letting go of anger and desire. So whenever life feels heavy, remember the path of Buddha. Sit quietly, breathe deeply, and listen to the silence within. That is where peace lives. Moral of the story: real peace and happiness come not from the outside world, but from within. When you conquer your own mind, you conquer the world.